You know, it seems like a lot of us Nigerians that make up the Nigerian diaspora, once we arrive in England, we are known as economic migrants. I mean, once you come here, the feeling is you're deprived. Well, you'd be shocked to know that some Nigerians that found their way to England were top students back home, from good homes. And all of a sudden they arrive in England being cleaners and porters in London hotels. But who cares? London is a leveler and life just goes on. My House History is a small documentary about our houses and the areas we grew up in Nigeria before coming to England. This is our history, and it matters to us that the next generation and those who know us get to understand our history. Welcome to My House Documentary, how we grew up. See me, I grew up in GRA, Edo State in Nigeria.
When did all this start? When did we begin? I thought we were chilling, listening. My cousin said she was feeling me. I said, make we start. All of a sudden I found she was dissing me, telling her friends I'm a fool, she was playing with me. I can't believe all the things after I gave you everything. When I get but I find that love not rich, no more. To put a ring on it, she don't want me. She don't want me. She wants something from me. Love not rich, no more. To put a ring on it, she don't want me. She don't want me. She wants something from me.
Let me tell you a little bit about GRA. You see, GRA Edo State is regarded as the most highbrow area in the state. You see, in Edo State in 1897, when the British came to topple the Benin Empire, the British have already been taking over other empires in Nigeria, but they just couldn't get into the Benin Empire. So all the other empires the British were taking over, they had a structure they were using there, states and stuff like that. But when they took over the Benin Empire in 1897, they were able to make the Benin Empire part of Nigeria and part of the regions that they've already taken over. Now, what happened in Edo State, where Benin City is the capital, is the British would separate themselves from the local by creating a new area for themselves they called the Government Reservation Area, GRA. The GRA was so demarcated it had British-style houses. They built the golf course in 1947. They built the officers' mess. They had swimming pool. It was like that sort of Hampstead, a proper British settlement. They had the army barracks. They had the naval barracks, the airports. All the roads were tarred. Trees grew in GRA, the green grass, fancy hotels. GRA was the place because that was where the British resided, and they would call upon the locals if they needed to see anybody or people who work for them. And that was how GRA was formed straight across Nigeria. In every state, British colonized Nigeria, and GRA till today remain a highbrow area. The most expensive in every state, if I would say. All the beautiful things, you inspire you to dream. That was the makeup of GRA. But you see, as independence came, the British had to hand over. So there were a lot of Nigerians that were sent to London to study, to take over the systems. There were a lot of Nigerians that were being taught locally to take over the systems. As it happened, most of the Nigerians that came from abroad, occupied the GRA territory. It was just normal. And the Nigerians that were educated locally and excelling, employed by the multinationals like the UAC, the UTC, the Siemens, and I think the banking sector, those people also moved into the GRA quarters because that's the highbrow area. Coming from abroad, everything seemed type of natural. Now, I grew up in GRA, remember, And I want to tell you some of the characteristics of the GRA family. You know, in my house, like many houses, GRA kids spoke English and not the local language. GRA kids went on holidays to London, America, Belgium. GRA kids had all the latest things that were reigning in this country. You know, my dad, like many other dads in GRA, they played golf. My mom had a salon, or mainly traveled abroad or went to Lagos. At that time, there was no football crazy like this, but our parents knew Pelé and Johan Cruyff because they were in England at that time.